Hi everyone, welcome back. So today we will do the second part of the video. We are solving 2025 February March paper 12 and we'll do today from question number 11 to 20. Okay, so let's get started. Question number 11. Which statement is not correct about the benefit to a business of maintaining a control account? Okay, so out of this statement that was listed, which is not a correct statement for the benefit of maintaining the control account? Number A, ensure that all types of error can be detected. Number B, helps in the preparation of the financial statement. C, provides immediate total of the trade receivable and trade payable. And D, reduce risk of fraud as jobs are performed by the different staff members. Okay, so when we maintain the control account, our main idea is to identify if there is any errors or any fraud that is going on in the business. So in order to do that, we prepare a trade receivable and trade payable control account. So here we gather all the information related to the sales and the purchase on credit. And now all this information would be there in trade receivable and trade payable account. So it will also help us in preparing the final statement. Okay. But what it does not ensure is that it will identify all the errors, because there could be other error apart from arithmetical error which is there in the books of account, and that would not be detected by the control account. So your right option for question number 11 is A. Okay, let's go to question number 12. Question number 12. A business maintains a control account as a part of double entry. At the end of the financial period, a sales ledger control account balance of 64,200 did not agree with the total of the individual sales ledger balance of the business. Okay, so when we prepare the control account, the main objective of the control account is the total on the control account should match with the individual ledger balance that we have. Okay, for example, I have a sales ledger control account balance BT here 64,200. So when I add up all the individual ledger account balance of partner trade receivable A, B and C, or more than that. Okay, so if I have 10 trade receivables, then I'll add all their balance BD, and those balance BD of each individual ledger account should sum up to 64,200. Okay, what they're saying here is this total of the individual ledger account and the total in the control account is not matching. So the reason they are not matching out here is there are three errors that was discovered. Number one, an error, an irrecoverable debt of 800 entered in the sales ledger control account was omitted from the trade receivables. Number two, a discount allowed of 9,950 were entered in the sales ledger account but were entered as 519 cash book. Number three, a contra of 4,100 between account in the sales and purchase ledger were reversed in the control account. Okay, there were no further errors, and we need to find out what is the total trade receivable balance at the end of the period after adjustments. Okay, so there are three errors, and then we need to find out after the correction what should be the total balance. See, we don't have any information about the individual ledgers, so what I will do is we'll try to make sales ledger control account error free. Okay, correct sales ledger control account, and whatever new balance we get, that would be the equal or equivalent balance with the total that we have for the individual ledgers. Okay, so the first error that we have is an irrecoverable debt of 800 was entered in the sales ledger control account. So this 800 of irrecoverable debt was entered in the sales ledger control account. Okay, so that means when we prepare the sales ledger control account, before this balance BD, control X, somewhere up there, okay, above the total, I don't know how much was the total, but let's say above the total, we already mentioned that amount somewhere there. Okay, so and this amount 800 was mentioned there, but we did not write that in the individual account. Okay, so if I write it in the individual account, then it can be corrected in the individual total. But as you see that we don't have individual total, and this amount is already written in the sales ledger control account, so I don't have to rectify this one here. Number two, second error is discount allowed of 950 were entered in the sales ledger account but were entered as 590 in the cash book. So what does this mean is, so we allowed discount, and discount allowed would decrease the trade receivables. So this is already entered in the sales ledger account. So sales ledger account means the individual ledger. So this was already entered there. Okay. So we wrote discount and then 950. We wrote this out here. Okay. But when we had to write down here in the control account, that time up here above the total, we only wrote discount as 590. Okay. So now this discount should be 950 and not 590. So we need to subtract more amount from here. So what I'll do is I will come here and then write down discount, and 590 minus 950, that would be 360. Let's see. Okay, so 360. So I'll subtract 360 from my total trade receivable balance. And then the last one, last error, they say that a contra of 4,100 between the account in the sales and purchase ledger were reversed in the control account. So contra entry was there. A contra entry basically means when we subtract amount from sales ledger as well as from purchase ledger control account, because that same person is your customer as well as the supplier. Okay, so amount we owe him and then amount we he owe us. Okay, we'll adjust that and then we'll deduct this amount. For example, let's say I take a loan from my friend 1000 rupees, and then this friend also takes loan from me, let's say 800 rupees. Okay, so now how do we adjust this is that I owe him 1000 and then he owe me 800. So instead of I collecting 800 from him and giving back 1000, I'll just give him 200 and then we say our debt is settled. Okay, so in that case what we did was we made a control or the contra entry of 800 in our control account. Okay, that he owe me 800, so he will not pay me that, and I also owe him 1000. From there I will not pay 800. Okay, so that is the process of contra entry. Now normally contra entry, or most of generally contra entry should be written on the credit side out here to subtract. But what we did was, before we calculate this total, we wrote here contra and then we wrote it on the debit side. We reversed it. Okay, now I want to rectify this one. If I want to rectify, then I can write down here contra and then I write 4100. But if I do this, then it will only cancel out the previous entry that I made. Okay, I was actually supposed to write down this 1400 on this side, so this will cancel out this amount if I write here, and then I will write another entry, and then this time 4100 would be subtracted like this. Okay, so the first contra entry that I wrote would cancel out the previous incorrect entry, and second contra entry will decrease the amount that we supposed to do. Now this is the whole process of this particular question. So let's find out the total. Sorry, the total on this side first, because that is heavier. And the total is still 64,000. I'm just doing this so that I can do drag and drop. The difference out here is this minus this. This would be our new total. Okay, so 55,640 is the new balance that we have. So this should be our correct answer, 55,640. 55,640 is our correct answer, B. Question number 13. Which item will be included when valuing inventory? Number 1, carriage inward. Number 2, cost of storage. Number 3, purchase price. And number 4, selling cost. To calculate the value of inventory, first one is the purchase price of the inventory. And if any direct cost that incurred to procure that inventory. Okay, like for example, carriage inward. So carriage inward freight charges would be added to the price of the inventory. So this is my total cost 1 and 3. So option B. Okay. 14. The following information is available: opening inventory, closing inventory, purchases, carriage inward, and revenue, discount received, other expenses. What are the values of gross profit and profit for the year? So we need to, from here, we need to prepare a statement of profit and loss account from this one. Okay. So let's do this. So revenue, and the revenue amount is given 18,000. Okay, then we have a cost, we have the cost of sales, and cost of sales is opening inventory. Opening inventory amount is given 800. Then we'll write down purchases. So purchases amount is given 9,260. And then we'll write down carriage inward. Carriage inward is 130. And ultimately we'll subtract less closing inventory. So closing inventory is given out here 1010. Okay, so subtract, sorry, minus 1010. So let's do auto sum, and this will give me the cost of sales. So sales minus cost of sales will give us the gross profit. Okay, so gross profit amount is 8,820. In this, we add other income and subtract other expenses to find out profit for the year. So discount received amount is 700, so we add there. And then other expenses is 3,880. This we will subtract. Okay, let's do auto sum from gross profit, and then the profit for the year is 5,640. So we need to have this answer. So gross profit is 8,820, and profit for the year is 5,640. So correct answer is option B. Okay. Number 15. X, Y, and Z are in partnership. What would be shown in the partnership appropriation account? Number 1, goods taken for personal use of X. Number 2, interest on loan made by Y. And number 3, interest on drawings made by Z. Okay, so what do we write in the appropriation account? That's what they're asking you. So when we write appropriation account, we do not write down drawings. So this goods taken is drawings. When we prepare the current account of a partners, that time we'll write down drawings. But this drawings amount would not be reflected there. And interest on partner's loan is a cost of finance. So while calculating the profit for the year, we need to subtract interest on the loan. Okay. And the final one is interest on drawings made by Jet. So interest on drawings should be incorporated in appropriation account. And this is the first item that we write. After profit for the year in appropriation account, we add interest on drawings. So correct answer for your question number 15 is 3 only. So only D. Okay, so D is your answer. Number 16. Bella and Charlie are in partnership, sharing profit and losses in the ratio 3:2. They have contributed capital in the same ratio. So this is 3:2 is their profit sharing ratio. The capital is also in the same ratio. Okay, so if my capital is 3 lakhs, then sorry, if Bella's capital is 3 lakhs, then Charlie's capital is 2 lakhs. The partners provided the following information for the financial year: interest on drawings for each partner, salary only for Bella, and then share of profit is 6,000 and 4,000. Then the profit for the year was 28,000. Question is, what was the interest on capital for Bella? Okay, very interesting question. You should know the appropriation account thoroughly in order to answer this. Profit for the year is given, which is 28,000. Okay. Now in this profit for the year, first thing that we do is add interest. Interest on drawings. So normally interest on drawings is calculated for each partner and then we add it here. But that amount is already given to us, so I would not do that. Okay. So 850 plus 5,550. So 1400. So we'll add 1400 here. And now we have new total. Okay, and then now we'll start subtracting expenses. So maybe we have salary given, so we'll subtract salary, and the salary subtracted is only for one partner, and that is minus 16,900. This is salary for Bella. And then we need to, after this we need to subtract another total, find out another total, and that total amount is given. No. So salary for the Bella is given. Now after salary we are supposed to subtract less interest on capital. Okay, but I don't know that interest on capital for now. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just put question mark out there. Interest on capital we don't know, but once I subtract this question mark figure, the amount that I have here is should be equivalent to share of profit. So the share of profit we know for both the partners is 6,000 and 4,000, so altogether 10,000. Okay, so that means the interest on capital must be 2,500, because if I subtract 2,500 from 12,500, then the share of profit is 10,000. Okay, so 2,500 is my interest on capital. But remember, this interest on capital is for both the partners. Question was asking us what is the interest on capital for Bella. So I just need to find it for Bella. So Bella's share of profit, or the Bella's in capital is in the same ratio as the share of profit. So 2500 into Bela's share of profit is 3:2. So into 3 divided by 5. So that would give me 1500. Okay, and that is our answer. So interest on Bela's share capital is 1500. 1500, which is C. C is your right answer. Let's go to the next question. 17. A company used a revenue reserve to make bonus issue of ordinary share. Which account should be debited and credited to record this? So here revenue reserves are general reserve and retained earnings. Okay, like we have a capital reserve like share premium and revaluation reserve. So in order to issue bonus shares, we use the revenue reserve. So what entry should we make? Okay. So if I using the revenue reserve, so revenue reserve should be debited because all the amount from revenue reserve would be pulled out, and this money would go into the capital account. So capital account would be credited. So the answer is general reserve account debit and share capital credit. So this is your correct answer because general reserve is a revenue reserve and this money was taken out from general reserve by debiting it, and the money was entered into the share capital account. Okay. If I look at the other one, share capital account debit and general reserve credit, this is not the correct answer because now here money is taken out from the share capital and put it into the general reserve. Okay, that's not what we do when we issue bonus shares. And same thing out here. Share capital account was debit and it was put into the retained earnings. And last one is share premium account to share capital account. So this time we did not use the general reserve. Okay, we use the capital reserve to give a bonus issue. So this is not the correct answer as well. So your right answer is A, general reserve account debit and the share capital account credit. 18. A company had an issue share capital of 400,000 ordinary share of $1 each. It then made a bonus issue of 1 ordinary share for every 5 ordinary share held. Okay, so this is the first condition. Okay, this was later followed by right issue of 1 ordinary share for every 3 ordinary share held. What was the balance of share capital account after these transactions? Okay, very simple. They are asking us to find out what will be the total amount of capital we have after we make all of that. Okay, so the conditions are straightforward. So we had 400,000 ordinary shares of $1 each. So that means that makes us 400,000 divided by 1. That makes us 400,000 shares. Okay, so this is your number array, number of shares. Okay, so total share value divided by price per share will give you the number of shares. Okay. Now, in order to calculate the bonus shares, first one is we issue bonus shares of 1 ordinary share for every 5 ordinary share held. So bonus share is we are giving them 1 for every 5. Okay, 1 divided by 5. Now that bonus share, if we calculate the number of bonus shares that we are giving, 400,000. So we'll write down the fraction. Okay, so into 1 divided by 2. So we are giving them 80,000 shares. Okay, so 80,000 shares. If I want to calculate the value of this 80,000 shares, the price per share is 1. Okay, so 80,000 shares into price per share is 1, and then this is your value. And the last one that we have is, it was later followed by the right issue of 1 ordinary share for every 3 ordinary share held. So right issue here, right issue is 1 for every 3. So now if I want to calculate how many shares we have, or how many right shares we are giving, first we need to calculate how many shares we have now. Okay, so I had 400,000, and then I issue bonus share that makes another 80,000, so 480,000. So we are giving right shares on this 480,000. For every 3 held, we are giving 1, so 1 by 3. So we are issuing now 160,000 shares. Okay, that is a right shares. So that makes us total shares of 480,000 plus 160,000. Did they multiply? Okay, 460,000 plus 180,000, so 640,000 shares. Okay, that now the total number of shares is 640,000. If I want to find out the value, then I need to simply multiply that with the price of $1. So 640,000 into $1 will give you still 640,000. So the total value is $640,000. Okay, currency. So that is your right answer, 640,000, which is D. Number 19. A company's statement of financial position included the following details: bank debit balance, ordinary share capital 1 million, share premium 200,000, revaluation reserve 100,000, general reserve 100,000, retained earning 400,000. What is the maximum total dividend that the directors can propose? Sorry, a dividend can be proposed from their revenue reserve. Okay, we cannot use capital reserve to give dividend. So here the revenue reserve we have is general reserve and retained earnings. So this 100,000 and 400,000 total can be given to the shareholders as a dividend. Okay, though we don't do that, but how much maximum we can propose is, this is the maximum amount that we can propose. Okay, so which is $500,000. So your right answer is C. Okay, question number 20. Sunil was reviewing a statement of financial position of company. The statement of profit and loss was not available. Why was Sunil interested in the current asset of the business? So, okay, number A, to assess its future prospect. B, to be able to calculate efficiency ratio. C, to discover if it is profitable. And D, to see if it is able to pay debts as they fall due. So number 1A, it says to assess the future prospects. Only current asset would not tell you the future prospect of the business. Okay, so you need profit and loss, the trend of the profit and loss, all the assets and liabilities of the business. Then you can say what is the future prospect of the business. Okay. B, to be able to calculate the efficiency ratio. Efficiency ratio will not be calculated only with the help of current assets. So he is interested in current asset. That means he is not looking for the efficiency ratio. Number C, to discover if it is profitable. See, we do not have the profit statement of profit and loss account. So he is not looking for profit when he is looking for or looking into the current assets. But he is interested in whether the company would be able to pay short-term debts when it fall due. So your correct answer for D is 20 is D. Okay, so your correct answer for 20 is D. Okay, we'll stop it here today. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in our next video. Bye. Have a great day.